Michael B. Jordan arrived on the set of The View to promote his latest directorial project, expecting a standard round of interviews filled with fun questions about his acting journey, creative choices, and the film's themes. Dressed in a sharp suit and exuding his usual charm, the actor greeted the hosts with smiles and warm hugs. The energy initially was lighthearted. The audience responded enthusiastically as Whoopi Goldberg opened the discussion by congratulating him on his accomplishments. The banter was smooth, until Sunny Hostin shifted the tone with a sudden, sharp pivot toward a recent interview Michael had done, in which he spoke about representation in Hollywood. She raised concerns that some of his comments were dismissive of systemic issues faced by lesser-known black creatives in the industry. Michael raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised by the transition. He attempted to clarify, explaining his intent was to highlight progress, not downplay obstacles. But Sunny doubled down, reading his quotes aloud and asking pointedly whether he thought his position as a successful actor skewed his perspective on the real challenges others face. Michael leaned forward, clearly eager to respond and maintain composure. He acknowledged that his experience might differ from others, but reiterated that his goal has always been to uplift underrepresented voices. Still, Sunny pressed him further, suggesting that statements like his could be used to silence criticism of systemic issues. The air in the room began to change. Co-host Sarah N. shifted uncomfortably in her seat, while Joy Behar looked between the two, seemingly gauging where the conversation might go. Michael's tone remained measured, but there was a noticeable tightness in his jaw. He explained that his foundation has invested in mentoring programs and that his production company specifically seeks out emerging black talent. "I walk the walk," he said. But Sunny wasn't backing down. She brought up several recent controversies in Hollywood involving diversity on film crews and suggested that celebrity activism often falls short of real change. Michael shook his head slightly and responded, "It's easy to criticize from the outside, but I'm in the trenches every day trying to make a difference." Sunny's response was curt. She remarked, "Intent doesn't always equal impact." The audience murmured, sensing the tension rising. Michael frowned and paused before speaking again, this time more firmly. He expressed frustration that no matter how much he tried to contribute positively, people were always looking for ways to tear down his efforts. "If I don't say anything, I'm silent. If I speak up, I'm not doing enough. So what's the right thing?" he asked. Sunny crossed her arms and replied, "The right thing is listening, being humble, and recognizing when your words could hurt others." Michael's expression hardened. Whoopi attempted to intervene, trying to pivot the conversation back to the film, asking about a particular scene he directed that had received critical acclaim. Michael answered briefly, but without his earlier enthusiasm. The back and forth with Sunny had drained the energy from the segment, and the co-host seemed uncertain how to regain control of the conversation. The moment escalated when Sunny brought up an old interview clip from 5 years ago in which Michael was asked why he often dates women outside his race. "Some folks felt you dodged that question," she said. Michael's eyes widened in disbelief. "That's not relevant to what we're talking about today," he replied sharply. Sunny countered that it was about accountability and how public figures shape narratives about black identity. Michael's irritation became evident. He removed his earpiece and stared directly at Sunny, saying, "I came here to talk about my film, my work, and my passion. This feels like an interrogation." Sunny didn't flinch. She replied, "It's a conversation. And when you're one of the most visible black men in Hollywood, your choices matter. People look up to you." The audience remained quiet, clearly unsure how to react. Joy Behar, sensing the tension had reached a boiling point, leaned forward and suggested they take a commercial break. But Michael, visibly fed up, shook his head and muttered, "This is unbelievable." Michael stood up as producers rushed toward the set. The camera cut wide to obscure the moment, but audience members gasped audibly. Whoopi attempted to lighten the mood by saying, "We're passionate here. It's part of the show." But Michael wasn't having it.
Passion.
"And then there's targeting," he said. He stepped away from the table, removed his mic, and walked off stage without looking back. Sunny remained seated, watching him leave with a calm expression. Joy looked stunned. Sarah kept her eyes on the table, and Whoopi sighed heavily. Da-da-da-da-da. View cut to an unscheduled commercial break. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of the exchange began circulating online almost immediately. Fans were divided. Some sided with Sunny, praising her for holding him accountable, while others condemned her for derailing the interview and ambushing a guest. Within hours, hashtags like Michael B. Jordan and the View drama began trending on Twitter and Instagram. Backstage, sources say Michael was furious. He reportedly told his team that he felt set up and that the interview was a trap disguised as journalism. His publicist released a brief statement later that day saying Michael appreciated meaningful dialogue but felt the tone of the interview crossed a line. Sunny addressed the situation on her social media, posting, "Tough conversations are necessary. Silence is not an option." This only intensified the backlash. Fellow celebrities began weighing in, some supporting Sunny's right to ask hard questions, others suggesting The View had become too combative for constructive discourse. Producers at ABC scrambled to control the fallout, issuing a vague statement, saying they valued open and respectful conversations on the show. Meanwhile, fans flooded comment sections with debates over whether the incident was a necessary confrontation or an unnecessary ambush of a respected actor and director. The next day on The View, the co-hosts attempted to debrief the situation. Whoopi began by acknowledging that the segment with Michael didn't go as planned, and that sometimes interviews take unexpected turns. Sunny doubled down on her approach, saying, "We need to stop tiptoeing around hard truths. If we don't ask the tough questions, who will?" Joy looked visibly uneasy and said she believed the line of questioning became too personal. Sarah nodded in agreement and added, "There's a fine line between accountability and ambush." The studio audience was quieter than usual. The topic consumed nearly half of the show, and the discussion remained divided. While the host tried to project unity, the underlying tension was obvious. Behind the scenes, producers were reportedly reevaluating their approach to guest interviews, fearing that too much controversy could deter future celebrities from appearing on the show. Michael made a public appearance later that week at a film festival, where he briefly addressed the controversy during a Q&A. "I believe in tough conversations," he said, "but they need to come from a place of respect and mutual understanding." His comment received applause. He added that while he didn't regret walking off, he wished the dialogue could have been more constructive. Fans at the event cheered in support. Meanwhile, opinion pieces began flooding major media outlets, with some journalists arguing that Sunny's approach was symptomatic of a broader trend where journalists seek viral moments rather than real dialogue. Others defended her, stating that it's part of a journalist's job to push public figures beyond rehearsed answers. Regardless of stance, nearly everyone agreed that the exchange between Michael B. Jordan and Sunny Hostin had become a defining moment in recent talk show history. Days turned into weeks, but the incident continued to dominate online discourse. Think pieces explored everything from the racial dynamics of the confrontation to the ethics of celebrity interviews. Some cultural commentators noted that black public figures are often held to impossible standards, while others emphasized the importance of challenging influential voices, no matter how beloved. Podcasts dissected every word exchanged during the segment, and fan forums remained lit with theories, reactions, and heated debates. Michael's film, meanwhile, saw a boost in publicity, though not necessarily the kind he had hoped for. Still, many fans rallied around him, organizing digital campaigns to support his work and condemning what they saw as unfair treatment. Sunny, for her part, remained unapologetic, giving interviews in which she reiterated that her responsibility was to truth and transparency, not comfort. Behind the scenes at ABC, the fallout was real. Booking agents reported increased hesitation from other high-profile guests, and publicists began requesting more detailed interview outlines before agreeing to appearances. Some insiders claimed there were growing tensions among the View co-hosts over the incident, especially regarding how it was handled both on-air and off. While no official changes were announced, rumors swirled that producers were considering reformatting certain segments to avoid repeat scenarios. Meanwhile, Michael continued promoting his film with other media outlets, all of whom carefully avoided controversial topics. It's likely to avoid repeating the chaos from The View. The episode was eventually re-aired with minor edits, though the raw footage continued circulating online. In the end, the clash between Michael B. Jordan and Sunny Hostin became more than just a TV moment. It became a cultural flashpoint in the ongoing dialogue around celebrity accounta.